progress stuff. Here is what will be my build station. And I actually used it last night just to sort Lego, and it was magnificent and is awesome. As you can see, it's just big U-shaped thing, goes all the way around. Only has the 2 legs. The rest is actually screwed into the walls because it's faux wood paneling. Why not screw into it? And I went with MDF for the surface because it's nice and smooth and is very nice to work on. You don't get splinters and whatnot. This is the exact same material that my old work table was surfaced in. So for those of you who have mentioned that you miss the old color of the work table, you will get to see it again in these builds because I'm going to leave it raw because, as you can see, it shows up really nicely on camera. It doesn't reflect. It's very neutral. It will be good. Obviously, the lighting will need to get improved. There is almost no lighting up here. There's one ugly, decrepit ceiling light there, and an even uglier, decrepit one there. So I will be adding embedded lights to the ceiling there. Probably 5 of them, 3 across the front and then 1 on either side. So I've got plenty of lighting in here, and then I'll add camera mounts in convenient places so you can easily see what I'm building. I'll have multiple cameras going, and it'll be lovely. Quality will improve. That will not stay there. Castle table is coming. Well, actually, it hasn't really started yet, other than I've got some of the wood stained. This is where it will be, and you can see there's been no progress. I have pulled out a bunch of the flooring for it, or the surface floor, the base ground, because I want to make it a little bit bigger. It's going to be a little bit longer and a little bit wider. It's going to be, I think, 2.5 inches wider, because I wanted it to be a full 5 base, 32 bases across, which comes out to about 50.5 inches. But I don't know exactly how long I want it. I want to make it a little bit longer so that there's a little bit more space on the far side of the river. So it may end up being like 4 inches longer so that I can get another full base plate on the end. But I need to pull them out and actually figure out exactly how long it is, which I should be able to do by the end of today because I should have the pirate table done today. Here it is framed out. The frame is mostly assembled. That center beam isn't screwed in yet because I don't know exactly where the seam is going to be, because there will be I'm using MDF again. This stuff will be painted blue because the pirate table, I don't have enough blue plates to completely cover this monstrosity. It would take, I think I worked out like 58 32 by 32 plates. And I'm not going to try to do that. So, yeah. I don't have the legs on yet. They were still drying a little bit. But as you can see, it is very much built around these bins. I made it to the exact dimensions of 4 bins long, and then this section ended up being almost exactly 3 bins. That pillar is a little bit shorter, so there'll be a little bit of a gap. But and then the ends fit 2 bins, 2 of the smaller bins, these size bins, fit in there nicely with the legs on either side to give a little bit more support. They will be supported by legs. They're currently just resting on these. It'll be about 1/4 of an inch above those, so they could be pulled out if necessary. It is just screwed to the pillar here, so it is solid. This table will not move. The castle table will. I'll either put it on wheels or, given the nature of this floor, I might just put felt on the bottom and just slide it. That would probably work well enough. I'm not going to be moving it very often. And then it would be less prone to moving around when I didn't want it to. I have expanded and improved the bins. If you remember last time, they were decidedly not even. They are now even, which involved expanding. So, for the gray bins, I had 12 bins altogether. And they were all the short drawers, the small drawers. And they were getting full. Some of them were as full as I could get. They were at capacity. So I expanded it to, it's still 12, but now 10 of them are the large bins. And I decided to go ahead and do that with the dark gray and the black, and I ended up having to do it with the white because that was the next color that I had the most of. Some point I may have to do it with other colors, but I don't have as much of them. Obviously, brown and green are rare colors, but I've got my browns already separated into multiple colors. I do have a little bit more space on this wall. These bins could go elsewhere. But Yeah, that's the current state. There will be, like I said, a shelf running along the entire top of that, which will have sets on display, classic sets from my childhood, cool sets that I've been sent, stuff like that. There'll be a whole bunch of them up there. And I will find other places to do more displays. I may put shelves like up on that height somewhere. I don't know. Along the walls here. Things will be on display. It'll be cool. Yeah. Coming along, coming along. All right, I need to go flip my bacon and finish this pirate table. Here, train. Here then is some very serious progress. The pirate work table, as you can see, is done. It's all painted. It's not actually the surface isn't secured yet. I want to get finishing nails since this isn't going to be 100% covered. I didn't want to use screws. Here's kind of how the layout's going to be. As I said, the pirates will be around... Ooh, let's try to get the glare down. The pirates will be around the pillar. There will be a whole series of shipwreck islands. Right now I've got the old classic pirate bases there. I have El Dorado Fortress set up over here, which has been traditionally the base of the blue Imperial Guards. I will then be building the Imperial Trading Post, which was the red faction's base. There never was, as far as I know, a Spanish base, so I'll have to fabricate one myself. Obviously, El Dorado Fortress sounds like it should be the Spanish base, but I'm going with tradition and keeping it the blue faction. I will be adding on to that. There'll be, a dock face, a harbor. There'll probably be a couple of ships, maybe some merchants. Same thing with the British, which I think I'll put in this corner. I might put the British in that corner and put the Spanish in this corner. Don't know yet, but they will have a little village, a little colony-looking thing, harbor masters, and all sorts of that sort of stuff. Obviously, there'll be lots of islands, naval battles. It's going to be fabulous. Over here, we have the castle table. Has also been completed, and it has been expanded. Previously, I had to build the layout to fit the table that I had built in my place in Tacoma. This time I decided to build the table to match the layout that I really wanted. One of the things that bothered me was the castle wasn't actually centered. It was slightly off of center because the table wasn't wide enough to perfectly center it. This time I built the table to be exactly 5 32 by 32 plates wide. So that is the width. It's 5 wide, and then it's now 8 long. So there's 8 more studs on this edge, which will then center the castle. There's also then added 8 studs onto the end here, which is on the far side of the creek, which will give me a little more room for the farm and the woodcutter's forest type area. And then there is a strip that is 16 studs wide, going right through the middle of the village. The village will then be, the road will be made a little bit narrower, actually probably half as narrow as it currently is, and then that should allow me to then add a whole second road. And a lot more buildings and build up the market. This is going to get significantly changed. It will now be all 32 by 32 segments. There were a bunch of segments before that weren't. The very end one obviously wasn't quite. I think it was 24 by 24. There were some over here that were longer. I think they were 32 by 48, I believe. And I didn't like that. And they weren't centered properly, and all of that is going to be corrected. But it is going to require me to redo a lot of these plates now. But they needed upgrading anyway. So that's what's going to be taking place. The castle actually isn't going to be much altered. I will be taking a look at the lower sections and improving them, since I've got more parts now than I did when I originally built it. That will be improved, but the size really isn't changing much. I will be building, like I said, more buildings here in the village. And it's going to be fantastic. Finally get that foreign market that I've been wanting to added over here by the joust. That's where that will go. So I'll have various foreign merchants in weird-looking tents, and it will be fantastic. There will then be good stuff. Gonna be awesome. Work table over here, which has proved to be absolutely fantastic. Not only do I have Lots of natural light, and I can see my parking lot, but having the U-shaped table here is exactly what I was hoping. I can put bins on the side, and then whatever I'm working on can go here, and yeah. Closets still need work. I need to figure out how I want to do storage in these. They're currently just a mess. I also still need to do the floor in there. But I needed the threshold bits. I hadn't grabbed those because I didn't quite know how they worked. This one, same thing. Do still need to add the shelving. There will be shelving going around along the top of these, which will give me storage for sets that I want to put on display. And I will start decorating. I'll have, like in here, there'll be lots of pirate flags and pirate memorabilia and stuff like that. And then there'll be posters on the walls of Lego posters and stuff like that. Gonna be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Whew, I needed this. This feels good. This makes me happy. Deep in my soul. So this is why there hasn't been any updates to the Lego channel in a while. Or, to the Nerf channel, actually, this week. And now there will soon be many updates here as I start building sets and getting this all upgraded. And yeah. Gonna be building a lot of old classic sets to put on display. Some of the sets I remember from my childhood and having and loving. I want to build them just to be on display. Just because they're classic and cool. I may add a shelf up at that height. Focus. So I can put the classic pirates or castle sets up there. We'll see. We will see. All right. Well, that's the current state. It is getting there. It is now functional. I can start building, and it makes me happy. All right. Thank you for watching.